The Supreme Court is set to announce decisions, thank you, Orrin, this morning, that could change the way you are represented in Washington. The court is expected to decide whether congressional district maps in North Carolina and Maryland are unconstitutional because they're too slanted toward one political party. Now, it will also rule on the Trump administration's plan to ask about citizenship in the 2020 census.
Opponents say a citizenship question would discourage some people in minority communities from filling out the census, leading to undercounting or other inaccurate results. CBS News Director of Elections and Surveys, Anthony Salvanto, is here. Anthony, why is the census case so important?
Good morning, Anthony. Well, look, the census is critical to everybody. First of all, it impacts federal funding for everything from, say, schools and hospitals to where disaster aid goes. Things based in part on how many people there are in a place. But there's political power at stake here, too, because the census also determines how many electoral college votes each state will cast in presidential elections. Also, how many representatives each state gets to send to Congress and what parts of those states that they come from, that is, where those district lines are drawn. Now, in terms of estimates that people are watching in states as these decisions come down, look for the impact possibly in places like California, in Texas, maybe Florida, Georgia, and a handful of states in the Northeast that we think have higher populations of undocumented immigrants, foreign-born populations, or people here on work visas. Now, take a look, for example, at California. If you take California's 55 electoral votes and 53 representatives, now, if folks don't fill out the forms there and they get what critics call an undercount, or Texas's 38 electoral votes and 36 representatives. Census comes back lower in those states because people don't fill out the forms. That's not a certainty, but that would mean power could shift away from those fast-growing states and into others. And that's the key thing to watch as we go forward. It won't happen immediately. It won't happen in 2020, but you're watching power struggles play out over the next 10 years, starting maybe today.
So, Anthony, when you think about the bottom line, how will these two cases, these two decisions, the census and the gerrymandering case, impact future elections?
Well, I think a lot of it will start in the gerrymandering case with how those district lines are drawn. What you see here on this map is California's congressional district. But which parts of the states do representatives come from? Well, if those states can draw lines that possibly incorporate partisanship, whether people are Democrats or Republicans when they draw those lines, that could help determine the balance of power in congressional representation coming out of those states. And that's a key thing to watch going forward, Tony.
All right, Anthony, thank you very much.